What's an unconventional coping mechanism that you often escape into? Revenge fantasies really help me cope. Someday I'll show them all! I look at pictures of houses on Zillow and imagine my life if I lived there. Sometimes it's big beautiful houses in beautiful places. Sometimes it's fixer-uppers near me. Sometimes it's just land and I imagine living in a trailer on it. Anything to see my life differently. I have a couple of beehives. When life is hard, I like to just a few meters in front of my hives and just watch them go about their day. The subspecies I have chosen, Apis mellifera, is supposedly more aggressive than conventional European honeybees at M. carnica or at M. buckfastii usually, but I've never been stung by them. They are native to my country, which is why I chose them over the more popular bees. I just find it relaxing to watch them. I live alone in a house without neighbors, so I would pretend like my living room is a stage and am giving a concert in the middle of my world tour, whereas an international artist, there's no room to be sad. I sing and dance anyways and smile, sad or not. It's actually one of my weird sides I won't tell anyone. I walk, like I just walk and walk until I can't walk anymore. If it takes hours, then so be it. This only happens when I'm having a really bad breakdown though. On a normal day, I'll just sleep it off. I often go through dark moments listening to a single song like 20 times. I don't know why, but it works. If someone else does know why, please explain :D. So this one is going to get me called weird. Since I was a kid, I've always had a thing about caressing earlobes. Not my own, but someone else's. Obviously, I would never ever do this to someone who isn't comfortable with it or aware of what I'm doing. Like obviously would never dream of doing it to a random stranger. But there's something I find extremely comforting and calming about lying on someone or sitting next to someone and just caressing their earlobe with my fingers. It's extremely weird and isn't sexual or anything like that. It's just calming. My boyfriend is totally used to it now and thankfully has quite big ears lol. I often use YouTube, Reddit, and video games to recharge my social battery. I sometimes get criticism from older family members that I am too much online. I just realized this recently, but I often cope up by grooming myself. I have this thinking that if I were to fail, you'll make sure I look gorgeous failing, and I don't know when this started, but until now I still do it. When tasks are overwhelming, I make sure to take a good bath, make myself presentable and go about my day. It helps me breathe and take back control. It also reminds me that, whatever happens, myself is my priority. I have autism, and anytime I'm around someone I don't know that well, I freeze up and go mute. If I'm in public and somewhere I don't want to be, I quietly sit there silent and stare off into space. Even around my own parents I can't talk to them that much unless there's nobody around. Fanfics which depict humans getting the opportunity to escape to paradise. For me, music that gets you feral almost ready to snap, to GT a fight going. I put on 80s synthwave and world build. Rearranging my room at 2 a.m. because somehow moving furniture feels like I'm moving my problems even though they are just following me to the new corner. Lately it's been alcohol and weed, although I'm trying to cut back. I tend to listen to some sad music when I'm feeling blue. Rage writing. If I get into a breakup or a really nasty fight with one of my friends, I write a story where they are kind of stupid and not very good at something that I like to do. It sounds narcissistic, which to be honest it kind of is, but it helps me to find their motivations and work through any hard feelings without actually hurting them. I escape by getting lost in a novel. I write fiction about my struggles as if it's a war, pretending I'm on a cooking show while I make the simplest meals. Suddenly, boiling pasta feels like a high-stakes competition, and it distracts me just enough to forget my worries.